Hello and welcome back to another practice activity lesson where we'll be looking at a lot of different skills that we've been learning throughout the course. So super useful, and I think let's just jump straight into activity 1. So I'm just going to show you a list of common phrasal verbs. Of course, phrasal verbs usually are verbs paired with things like prepositions. And they're really useful and native in how we speak English. So really important to our overall fluency of language. So I'm going to show you the table now, and you can get a good idea about the different phrasal verbs that we'll be looking at today. So we have answer back, base on, call back, end up, and keep away. So I'd like you to have a go at creating some sentences for these phrasal verbs. We can see that we have things like back, on, up, away. So kind of prepositions generally that we use, but there are a few other methods for phrasal verbs. But basically common words paired with verbs. Okay, so I will give you 2 minutes from now to create your own sentences using these phrasal verbs. Then I'm going to show you what I came up with. 2 minutes starting now. And your 2 minutes are up. Okay, so let's begin with answer back. He will answer back tomorrow. So answer back basically means reply. He will answer back tomorrow. Base on. This movie is based on facts. We often hear this phrasal verb in the sort of present tense, base on. We generally hear it more in the past tense. What's this story based on? Where did it get its inspiration? And it basically is a synonym for inspired. Where is it inspired? This movie is based on facts. This movie is based on a true story. Okay, call back. I don't think this needs the same level of explanation. Tom called. I told him to call back later. And end up. I have studied all my life and finally I ended up unemployed. Not a great situation there. End up just means the result. What was the result? I ended up employed. So unemployed, was the result. Keep away again doesn't really need any extra explanation. Keep this dog away from me. So there we have a phrasal verb that we can split in the middle. Keep away. so that we have one of these phrasal verbs where we can add a subject in the middle of the phrasal verb. Keep this dog away from me. Okay, so let's begin activity 2. Using the phrases below, create some sentences and practice speaking them out loud. So just a range of really interesting expressions that I think are really native in sound. So we have leave me alone, what a pity, calm down, I can't wait, and you are right. So I just want you to have a go at using these native sounding phrases and expressions. So if you can make a short sentence and have a go at speaking them out loud. I'm going to show you my sentences now to give you a bit more idea in terms of what you could write. You could also just simply spend 2 minutes practicing saying my sentences that I show you, of course, because they will be grammatically correct. So up first, leave me alone. I'll be fine, but please just leave me alone for a bit. Some interesting points here. I'll be fine, nice opener. I will, contraction, I'll be fine, but please, but. So we have this connecting phrase, but please leave me alone for a bit. Give me some space. Another interesting and very similar expression. Okay, what a pity. What a pity you can't attend our party tonight. What a pity is the same as feeling a little bit sad about something. I feel a bit sad you can't attend our party tonight. It's a shame. What a pity you can't attend. Okay, and on to calm down. Maybe a little bit more formal than saying just relax to somebody. That can be a little bit rude. Please calm down. You shouldn't be upset. Okay, and I can't wait. I can't wait to start a family. And the last one, you are right. I thought about what you said and you are right. And of course, in this situation, right, it means correct. Okay, so you can spend 2 minutes here either creating your own examples with these phrases, these excellent expressions, or quite simply spend 2 minutes saying my sentences out loud. It's always important in speaking to give yourself chance to actually speak out loud. And I think here it might be useful for you. You can spend longer than 2 minutes with the video paused, just repeating these phrases. It's called rote learning, which means repetition. And repetition is really useful in building language skills. So your 2 minutes starts now. And that is your 2-minute time limit. If you did create your own examples, maybe it would be interesting if you could post them into the Q&A section for myself and the other students to see. Okay, on to activity 3. Identify and correct the mistakes in these sentences using the correct preposition, and also if you could fix any other common errors. So there is definitely a few prepositions that need fixing, but I included, it's just a bit more challenging, I included some extra errors too, some common errors I see in speaking. So have a look at the sentences, and then you have 2 minutes to make any corrections. Now, I'm not going to read them all with the mistakes. I'm just going to show you all of the sentences with errors, and then your 2 minutes will begin. And I'd like you to see if you can make as many edits in those 2 minutes as you possibly can. So here are your sentences to change and edit, and your 2 minutes starts now. And there is the 2 minute time limit. So let's begin with the first example. They go to bus station by foot. Doesn't sound right. First up, we need the article. They go to, the bus station on foot. Now here's a preposition, on. So we say on foot. That is how we use this phrase, on foot. I walk somewhere, I travel on foot. They go to the bus station on foot. Okay, next up, they is so different than their brother. A little bit tricky, and there's something really probably a bit sneaky that I did here. So they is needs to change to they are, of course, because we're using a plural pronoun they. They are. They are so different to, instead of than, to their brother. Now this is tricky because there's a few different types of theirs. In the blue sentence we have their, they are. And underneath we have their, which is more of a possessive their example. But this is more to do with writing, so probably a bit sneaky of me to include it. If you got that right, if you knew that the there was incorrect, let me know. I would really like to hear that. So yeah, a few changes here. So let's go to number 3. I got a good deal for my new Toyota. This sounds quite close, but not quite right. I got a good deal for my new Toyota. Let's see. I got a good deal on my new Toyota. So we wouldn't really say for my new Toyota, although I don't think in the incorrect example, if you said this, a native speaker might not even notice. Maybe it might just sound a little bit strange, but maybe they wouldn't quite realize. But generally we would say a deal on something. I got a good deal on my phone. I got a great deal on my smart TV, on my new car, not for. So a small change, and I think some native speakers might not quite pick up on the error, but always good to strive for accuracy. Okay, last one. He eat a lot of food during training month. Sounds like there's lots of mistakes here. So here we go. He eats, of course, the verb form here needs to change. He eats. He is a singular pronoun. He eats a lot of food during training months, of course, plural months. Okay, so pretty tricky, to be honest. I would say to get all of those is really quite tough. But if you get a couple right, if you get a few of those, that's a great start. And do let me know if you spotted the they are to there in the second example. Okay, let's move on to activity 4. Identify and connect the vocabulary to paired synonym. So I'm going to show you some words now, and I'm going to give you some synonym words as well. So what I'll do is just show you the entire sort of table without any connecting phrases, and I want you to find the synonyms. Try it without a dictionary first. If you get really stuck, you can use a dictionary to maybe help you. And of course, dictionaries are great tools for English language learning. So I'll show you all the different words now, and then I'll tell you when the 2 minutes starts, and you can begin joining the left column to the right. Synonyms have the same meaning or very similar. So you can have 2 minutes from now. And let's take a look at the answers for this activity. Synonyms, I'll just say synonyms are super useful in terms of improving our vocabulary. So a dictionary is a really useful tool for English language learning, and it always has, or good dictionaries always have, useful synonyms. But be careful, because even if words are synonyms, they can still have slightly different meanings, which means that you can use them incorrectly if you're not careful. So let's go with provoke first. Provoke and irritate. There we go. We've got all the answers. Provoke and irritate. Provoke means that maybe you're being a bit mean to somebody, you're irritating them, and you're trying to get a response, an action back. Provoke, irritate. Unusual and dissimilar. Dissimilar is probably slightly different, but it's definitely a synonym of unusual. Dissimilar is more like different. Different, of course, is a good synonym of unusual too. Not quite normal, unusual. Next up is research and investigate. Maybe slightly easier to get that. Research, investigate, these kind of studying verbs. And next we have honest and genuine, some words to describe personalities and qualities of people. Honest, genuine, very similar meanings. And lastly, hazardous and precarious. Hazardous is probably more about a situation that you aren't in now. You can also use it for a situation that is ongoing. Precarious is probably a situation now, something that if it goes a little bit wrong could be very dangerous. However, they really do have similar meanings. And I must say, precarious really is one of those highly advanced English words, a precarious situation. And there is a really interesting collocation for you. Precarious situation. Okay, so let's just jump right into activity 5. So create 5 examples of physical and mental verbs. So this isn't something that I always talk about with my students, this interesting way of sorting verbs. So we can sort verbs into physical and mental. Occasionally they have different names, but it's just another way that we can categorize, which is a great skill in any type of study. So first, let's look at a physical verb. This is something that we do with our body. Run. Let's take a look at a mental verb. And here we have know. Okay, so let's take a look at the whole set. So physical, we have run, hear, call, breathe. Mental, we have know, recognize, believe, feel, like. Mental is something that we do in our brains. Physical is an action we do with our bodies. So 5 examples for each, both physical and mental. And please don't use the examples that I've shown you. It'd be really interesting to see the examples you have in the Q&A section. So your 2 minutes starts now. Okay, your 2 minutes are up. So as I said, if you could go to the Q&A section and show me some extra examples of your physical and mental verbs. An interesting way to categorize verbs. Okay, so that's the end of this practice activity lesson, and I will see you back in the course.